Hello, freaks. Welcome back. Under Lemmy, I present to you Yoga for Artists. I'm very thrilled and honored and grateful to say that we get tons of awesome artists, whether that's tattoo artists, writers, illustrators, musicians, people hard at work slaving over their creations like Dr. Frankenstein. If we're artists, we're always hunched forward, we're working with our hands, our breath's kind of short, we're sitting, our hips are tight. That is a very common thing. So I wanted to create a workshop series to cater to you freaky, creative, awesome, inspiring human beings of the artistic world. So this is a prelude to our Yoga for Artists workshop that's going to take place on Saturday, May 18th at 1 p.m. The difference between a workshop and a yoga class, and this could be good for just beginners too, if you feel like you're somebody in a yoga class that kind of knows what they're doing but isn't really sure what they're doing, and you're too scared to ask me because heavy metal music's playing and I'm yelling and there's a lot of people here and I don't have time to go over to each person individually, correct their posture, etc. This would be a good place for you to come and we can nail down the poses and the movements that best suit your body. I'm going to demonstrate a pose. I'm going to give you a few exercises. You do them, and then I'm going to be here to watch over you to make sure you're doing them correctly and make whatever adjustments we need to make them best for your body. That's what a workshop is versus a class, and that's what we be doing. If we're talking about artists, if we're talking about really anybody, but anybody that works with their hands so much, that's just it. We work with our hands so much that our wrists and our elbows often get tight, our forearms. The last thing we think about when we go to a gym or a yoga class is, how do I strengthen my hands? But we rely on our hands so much. So I always do, and I will do in this workshop, a really comprehensive wrist warm-up. If we're in all fours, one thing I like to do, it's going to change your life, is some Bruce Lee shit. Knuckle push-ups. So if we're in all fours, both hands are planted, we're going to take one hand, flip the palm underneath, flip the palm up so the knuckles are on the mat, and we press down, feel the stretch and feel the contraction here in our bicep or in our forearm muscle, and then you make a fist. And that's a knuckle push-up. So we're opening the fist, closing the fist, and that is just like we do for our chest when we're doing push-ups, we're strengthening our wrist and the extensor muscles in our forearms when we do this, right? So we take one side, one hand at a time is a lot easier, or we can do two as we graduate through these wrist push-ups. Same thing for fingertips. We can be on our fingertips and do like little fingertip push-ups. You know, it may seem weird. It's a great way to strengthen our wrists and fingers. And another, for that matter, we get a lot of tennis elbow or any tendonitis in our elbow joint. And this helps doing a wrist, elbow, and shoulder circle combo. So I will incorporate this before I do yoga. Like if I'm warming up for the morning or warming up before class, I do these personally a lot. And I think these make a big difference just getting fluid to the joints and the ligaments and connective tissue. So that is like basic what we can do for our wrists, our shoulders, and our elbows. And they can make our arms look super good too. Number two, which is why we do these every class. Now I'm not going to harp on them because we do them every class, so you know them, is cat-cows. But specifically for our artists out there, and our tattoo artists that are hunched forward for hours and hours and hours, we get a lot of neck tightness and we get a lot of back stiffness because our back isn't moving and articulating like the cobra it should be because we're locked in one position. So to take a cat-cow position and really start to like draw circles with your torso and articulate your back and lift up your neck and drop your head to find length in the neck instead of compressing it and making it tight, right? This is essential. Not even just the basic cat-cow movement, but kind of the free range that I like to encourage in my yoga classes, which is kind of this formlessness, but we are just kind of dancing around and supplying movement and motion and getting synovial fluid between the spinal vertebrae and your neck, and all that fancy stuff really helps to loosen and open that up. Any stretch that you're pulling your heart forward or squeezing your back, that's going to combat the rounded forward posture and just really feel good. So from there, anything we can do in this realm, I'm a big fan of, whether that's bringing hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers, and just holding here in this position. This is basically the opposite of what happens when you're sitting at a desk. So when we sit down, our butt's always back, our glutes are compressed, they're stretched, we're sitting on them. This pushes your hips forward, contracts your glutes together, keeps our core in better alignment, our pelvis in better alignment with our hips and shoulders. And then when we interlace the fingers, straighten the arms, and pull the chest forward, it brings our spine into that C curve, which is going to combat all this gremlin back nonsense. And that this develops bad breathing patterns. It develops more anxiety. We're always like, boy, this is uncomfortable for the body. This is nourishing and opening and relaxing and good shit for you. So this would be my ideal recommendation for that, and we can focus on squeezing the butt, pushing the hips forward, and then relaxing, of course, into child's pose, which allows you to elongate the spine, connect with your breath, and surrender your head. Child's pose can be thought of as a resting pose and more of a transition pose because it's like the basic pose in yoga, but really to hold a deliberate child's pose with the intention to squeeze your back and grow taller and connect with our breath is a really powerful movement. Last thing I'll show you, most trickiest thing I'll show you for this video's purposes anyway, is a side angle stretch. So this is kind of going to hit all those things. We put one foot forward, knees at 90 degrees, opposite hand comes down, and then we twist up with the corresponding hand. So this is my left foot, my left arm is coming up, and what this is doing is broadening the collarbone. This is flexing the back, so we pull the chest forward, and it's also twisting. So it's working on our abs, our lower back, and keeping our pelvis in better alignment, supplying it with more natural motion that we should be taking it through all day rather than just having it locked in a sitting position or a rounded position. To take it a step further, we tuck the back right toe, straighten the leg, and that's going to stretch the calf and the hamstring and just make it more of an exercise, more of an efficient movement. And you put all those things together, warm up the wrists, shoulders, maybe some neck circles, the cat-cows take care of all that, a child's pose, opening of the heart, and a side angle lunge, and you are ready to rock your day and make some amazing creative art on people, places, and things. And it's just a good, healthy routine for anybody to do. And like I said, we can take all those and make them best work for you and work around your limitations and work to your body. So if you want more of that, if you like that, then come on down for our workshop, May 18th, Yoga for Artists and Weirdos and beginners, really, too. Whatever, if you're new to yoga and just want to nail down some postures and become more confident in your movement and in your flow, which flow state helps creativity in the brain, something yoga can provide us, then this will be great for you. And if these go well, if you like them, we'll keep them up and keep doing them more. But this one's going to be the first one, so I hope you come down and rock with us. Namaste. Thank you, Lemmy. Lemmy will be here too. He always is. Love you.